Well, it's a very warm welcome back to second half independent off-tube studio commentary from the game at the AESSEAL New York Stadium. Rotherham United 0, Middlesbrough 0 here in the Championship, and Boro certainly will be frustrated at it being 0-0. In terms of the possession they had in the first half, they would feel as though they should be winning this game. They haven't actually had that many clear-cut chances. There was a strike from just outside the box from Sam Greenwood. There's a little bit of a melee where the ball needed to be cleared after the ball was bouncing inside the penalty, but that's it for a whole half of having nearly 70% possession. Boro struggled really to create chance after chance, and Rotherham, well, they soaked up the pressure. Well, they couldn't really offer much in terms of actually pushing forward themselves. So wait and see how the second half pans out. But from Middlesbrough's point of view, they've got to do more really to try and actually put some pressure on that Rotherham defence. It was the Rotherham midfield that was under more pressure in the first half instead of trying to stop things further upfield. But there wasn't actually that much work for Victor Johansen in the Rotherham goal, and that's a good thing because Johansen seemed to be carrying a bit of an injury for most of the first half. We had 2 stoppages, so the goalkeeper could be checked over, and Dylan Phillips, the Rotherham sub-keeper, was ready to come on, but in the end it wasn't required. So just run you through the 2 teams. There have been no changes, so it is Victor Johansen in goal for Rotherham. Back 3 of Hakim Odafan, Sean Morrison and Seb Revan, and the 2 wide men are Dexter Lembikisa and Cohen Bramall. The 3 in midfield are Jamie Lindsay, Christ Tay and Oliver Rathbone, with Jordan Hugill and Sam Nombi as the 2 up front. For Boro, it is Tom Glover in goal with a back 4 of Vanafree, Deek Steele, Dale Fry, Matt Clark and Alex Bangura. Dan Barlesa and Johnny Houston, the 2 holder midfielders, with Isiah Jones, Morgan Rogers and Sam Greenwood as the attacking midfield 3, playing behind Sam Silver. But a couple of quick goals in the Championship already to tell you about. It's Cardiff 2, Plymouth 1. Plymouth led at one stage in that game, but Cardiff have now taken the lead right at the start of the second half with a goal from Carlan Grant. Also, Watford are back in it at home to Bristol City. Bristol City were 2-0 up at half-time after goals from Pring and a Hoet own goal, but Čakovec has just made it 2-1 in that game, so game on in that one. And I'm just getting word, though, that Bristol City have actually scored a 3rd one in that one. Wait to get confirmation of that, but it looks like a bit of a goal fest at Vicarage. All we could do with some of that being sprinkled on this game, really, because there was precious few chances in front of goal. But Rotherham put some pressure on the Boro defence, and it's paid off. Bangura has been robbed of the ball just to the edge of his own penalty area. It's now with Rathbone over towards Lembikisa. Rathbone again. It's all on the right-hand side here now for Rotherham, but Lembikisa is robbed of the ball, and Greenwood now playing it down the left-hand side for Boro. But that's not a good pass. That's been picked off, and Rotherham straight back in possession here with a chance to push forward down the right-hand side. It's with Tahi getting towards the edge of the area, but Bangura just shepherds him out, and it is a goal for Bristol City almost immediately from the kickoff. So it's now Watford 1, Bristol City 3. A minute after Watford had got a goal back, they're back to being 2 goals down again. And now it's Sam Greenwood trying to get the ball away from his own penalty area. Gets brought down, and that will be a free kick. Greenwood's unhappy. I think he was hoping for a yellow card. Oh, I tell you what, that's not a bad shout there from Greenwood, because Lembikisa was trying to sort of just hold him off the ball, but then Rathbone comes in with a swinging leg, and he really does catch Sam Greenwood there. But our referee, Andrew Kitchen, not interested in that one. And so we play on. Just the 3 games I should say, that are still goalless in the Championship. Hull against Sunderland, Rotherham against Middlesbrough, this game in particular, and West Brom against 10-man Norwich. Norwich are down to 10 men at the Hawthorns after 2 yellow cards for Saints in the first 45 minutes. Just to remind you, it's a 5:15 kick-off on this service. Birmingham City against Stoke City. And then the 7:45 kick-off in the Championship this evening, also available on our service. It's the top-of-the-table clash as Ipswich take on Leicester City. I suppose for sides like Leeds, we'll be looking at that game hoping that potentially Leicester win, because Leicester have already got a big advantage over everyone else. So potentially it's to try and keep Ipswich as close to the chasing pack as possible. And there's also a late game, 2 late games in the Premier League as well that are also available on our service. 5:30. It's Burnley against Liverpool, and then 8 p.m. Manchester United against Aston Villa. But here come Rotherham now with a chance down the right-hand side. A cross coming in. It's just a bit too high for Hugill inside the penalty area. And now Middlesbrough in possession down the right-hand side at the edge of their own penalty area. Dale Fright with the ball in towards Johnny Howson. Howson to Dan Barlesa over the halfway line now. That's the pass forward aimed at Silvera is picked off there by Sean Morrison, and now it's Rotherham back in possession. Jamie Lindsay back into Christe. The free kick was, there was a foul there on Jamie Lindsay. Rotherham wanted to take it quickly, but I think the referee's just calling over Sam Greenwood. I think Greenwood's still a little bit sort of wound up about that foul where Rathbone had run into him a few minutes earlier. I think the referee's just saying, look, don't start taking the law into your own hands, because he was a little bit unhappy with that. There wasn't much of a foul there really, but I think the referee felt as though there may have just been a little bit of retribution in the mind of Sam Greenwood as he was going for that one. But it's a free kick now to Rotherham on the right-hand side. It is Oliver Rathbone with the cross in towards the edge of the area. Good strong header away by Matt Clark. The ball then drops to Dexter Lembikis. That's not the best pass from him down the right-hand side. Odafan fighting to keep it in play, but Bangura was always favourite there, and he just makes sure that ball definitely does go out for a throw. So that's been the problem really for Rotherham for most of this game, is that they have struggled in terms of trying to keep any kind of meaningful attacking possession. But that's a very risky throw there from Bangura into the middle. Very nearly picked off there by Jamie Lindsay. But here come Middlesbrough now, charging down the right-hand side. Was the Deek still now? It's played over towards the edge of the penalty area for Sam Greenwood, but that one is cleared back into midfield. And, Middlesbrough in possession again. 52 minutes gone, unofficial, independent off-tube studio commentary, and it is goalless here between Rotherham and Middlesbrough. But one of the other games that was goalless in the Championship is no longer so, because West Brom now lead against 10-man Norwich. They're just waiting for confirmation of the goal scorer there, but West Brom are in front in that game. That just leaves the game here and the game at Hull City, where they're still goalless with Sunderland. Still 0-0 there at the MKM Stadium. Dale Fry, they're trying to win the ball back from Middlesbrough in midfield, just a little bit too keen there as he runs into Jordan Hugill. That will be a free kick to Rotherham. So 7 minutes into this second half, you've got to say that it's more of the same really. The only difference is that there's not anywhere near as much Middlesbrough possession around the Rotherham penalty area as there was for large periods in the first half, and that must be good news as far as Rotherham are concerned. It means they're starting to frustrate Middlesbrough a little bit, but now the ball is played up towards the edge of the area. It's well, there's a free kick given there against Hugill, and he's not happy with that one. He feels as though all he was trying to do was go for the ball, but it's just a little bit too much physicality there from the Rotherham number 10, and it's Boro now playing out from the back. It's with Isiah Jones down the right side, one straight into Cohen Bramall. And the visitors now lose the ball momentarily. It's with Seb Ravan. Nice diagonal ball headed down by Hugill, and there's some space here now down the right-hand side as Lembikis joins the attack. His cross is charged down almost immediately. That's been the problem for Rotherham, just not been able to make a stick. But now Christe gets to the ball. He puts a cross in, which is headed away by Matt Clark. Greenwood now at the edge of his own box, swapping a pass there with Bangura, and it's cleared up towards the halfway line. So Rotherham again recycle the second ball, and there's a bit of a spring in the step for the home side now. They can sense that perhaps Middlesbrough can be got at here. It's with Cohen Bramall now. Him and Rathbone down the left-hand side. Rathbone's ball into the box, just a little bit too short. Cut out there by Dale Fry. And Boro again, you've got to credit them. They're not kicking it long. They want to play out from the back every time. Although on this occasion the pass down the right-hand side is far too long there for Morgan Rogers. Not going to be able to get on the end of that one, and Rotherham are back in possession here. It's with Seb Ravan now towards Hakim Odafan. Sean Morrison, experienced captain there on the right-hand side of the back three on this occasion. And now a pass down the right-hand side, one for Sam Nombi to chase all the way to the edge of the area, but Matt Clark will get there first. And he plays that back towards his goalkeeper, Tom Glover, who really has had nothing to do in this game other than come out and claim, or at least be involved in trying to claim a couple of crosses. Really has been a very quiet game as far as the Rotherham attack has been concerned. So now it's over on the left-hand side. Johnny Houser brings the ball out for Middlesbrough, finds Greenwood. Back into midfield here now for Barlaser. Greenwood's now taken up a more central position at the edge of the penalty area. But again, Rotherham are back in numbers. No easy way through here for Boro. It's played over now towards the right-hand side. Jones back into Fry. It's with Howson, square to Barlaser, towards the penalty area. Silvera trying to find Greenwood, who takes a bit of a tumble at the edge of the box. I'm not sure there was ever any indication from the referee. He thought that might be a foul. Now there's a bit of a mistake here at the edge of the penalty area from Rotherham. They didn't clear the ball as they could have done there, and it's Dijksteel now playing it back towards Howson. Bangura joins the attack on the left-hand side, feeds Greenwood, who tries to backheel it towards Bangura, but he gets blocked off at the edge of the area. And the visitors now having to start again here in midfield. Cross coming in from the left-hand side. First of all dealt with by Morrison, then a pass played down the right here. Potentially there's a chance for Sam Nombi, but the pass to him was overhit. There was never much of a chance of him keeping that in play, and he doesn't keep it in play. It goes out for a throw to Middlesbrough, which Matt Clark has taken quickly. So Boro aren't hanging around. This is definitely not a game where they would take a point. They want to win this game. They know they've got enough possession and enough of a goal threat to do it. They just need to start making it work on the pitch as Dijksteel and Jones link up here on the right-hand side. There's going to be a free kick given here against Seb Revan. He can't believe it. Just the slightly bemused expression followed by the words, how? Thankfully, nothing else, nothing that I need to censor there on that occasion, which is quite rare normally when players have a decision given against them. But Revan just, rather than worrying about the expletives, he just can't believe that the free kick has been given against him. But I think in those situations, what he's done is he's stood his ground, but he has made contact there with unafraid Dijksteel, and I think that's probably what's convinced our referee Andrew Kitchen that it should be a free kick. And this is a really good chance now. Dan Barlaser standing over the ball. Plenty of targets inside that penalty area. It's only a couple of yards away from the edge of the penalty area himself here. Middlesbrough's free kick taker. To the referee, now asking for this free kick to be taken. It's going to be Barlaser. That's such a poor free kick. I mean, he's got one person in the wall just blocking an attempted effort potentially at the near post. And I'm not exaggerating, Barlaser strikes that one-man wall at about waist height. He's only a couple of yards away from the edge of the box. It's such a poor free kick. There's no chance of anyone in a Middlesbrough shirt attacking that with a header. And Rotherham cleared their lines, but Middlesbrough try again here now down the right-hand side. Howson in the middle here. It's got the option of Dijksteel on the right-hand side, but whether it's Howson's pass, which was overhit, or Dijksteel with the miscontrol, I think it's more the right-back miscontrolling that one, but the ball goes out of play, and it will be a throw-on to Rotherham. So that's a danger averted, really, after that free kick and the subsequent bit of possession there for Middlesbrough. Question is, how do Rotherham get this ball away from their own half now, without just kicking it long and then hoping for Middlesbrough not to come back straight away. Huddersfield, meanwhile, have doubled their lead at home to Blackburn. That's a big, big result in terms of the bottom of the table. Huddersfield, as things stand, will jump ahead of Stoke, who play in the 5:15 game against Birmingham. But with Huddersfield, if Huddersfield were to go on and win that game, and they're 2-0 up now, so you'd think that they've got a good chance to do so, they would be 5 points clear of Queen's Park Rangers. 9 points clear of Sheffield Wednesday and 11 points clear of Rotherham. Stoke would then be that barrier between the rest of the table and relegation, and as it stands, Stoke are 4 points clear of QPR. So that's bottom three just starting to get potentially a little bit isolated. QPR at one stage looked to be recovering, but now they've lost their last 3 games in a row, losing to Sheffield Wednesday, Southampton, and now Millwall in the earlier game today. Back to action here at the New York Stadium. It is Boro in possession here, with Dijksteel going back towards Fry. Right back over towards the right-hand side again. It's with Barlaser. Back into Fry. Barlaser again over the halfway line. Finding Johnny Howson, and he feeds the ball down the right-hand side here for Matt Clark. Clark into Bangura. Side now towards Howson, but once again, got to credit Rotherham. It's a combination of crediting Rotherham, perhaps criticising Middlesbrough for them, perhaps just not having the ideas to try and break this defence down. It's all a little bit predictable so far from Boro. They're trying again here now down the right-hand side with Isiah Jones, tries to take on his man, hits the deck. I mean, ironically, I would say there's probably more of a foul on Jones than that previous one on Dijksteel a couple of minutes ago, where the free kick was given. Jones is now asking the question how. Well, that wasn't given against him, but the referee Seems happy there. We'll see. It's Rathbone this time getting tangled with Jones. I mean, it's one of those where, is it a 50-50 or is it more Rathbone trying to stop Jones going for the ball? I mean, I would say it's probably more from column B there, but the referee deciding that that kind of a physicality is still acceptable. So the ball is now back in play. Headed forward here by Bramall, but that goes straight out. It's Middlesbrough still struggling to really get any kind of... I mean, there's still been no work for the goalkeeper here, it has to be said. We've had 15, nearly 16 minutes in this second half. Unofficial independent off-tube studio commentary. Goal is still between Rotherham and Boro, and there's been no work for Victor Johansson now in that Rotherham goal. Keeper who seems to be carrying a bit of a knock, wasn't moving around comfortably, wasn't kicking the ball comfortably in the first half. We've hardly had any chance to test that in the second half at all. Boro just need to find a little bit of something extra, but now potentially it opens up. That Rotherham defence was split, and it's a strike coming in, it's just wide. That's the first time that Sam Silvera has had a clear sight of goal. The Rotherham defence, who have been very solid and very tight for most of this game, just allowed themselves to stray forward a little bit. They forgot the offside. They weren't paying attention to Sam Silvera. He breaks it, hits it with the left foot. The keeper is beaten, and the ball is just past the post. That really should be 1-0 to Boro. But as it is, the effort from Silvera going just wide. As I say, he was right to go for it there. 23-year-old Australian. So the strike in the end going just wide. But that's a warning to Rotherham, that's for sure. Say it's commentator's curse. I was just finishing my quick explanation there that I thought Rotherham were well organised in this game, and Middlesbrough perhaps just lacking a little bit of invention. But just as I said that, Boro played a quick through ball that split that Rotherham defence open. And from there, Silvera with a great chance, but the strike going just wide of the post. Now we're back in play here. It's gone out for a throw to Rotherham, sorry, to Middlesbrough, I should say, down the right-hand side. Deek still with the ball in, and a foul there in the middle on Morgan Rogers. It was Christ Tehi with the foul. This is something that I think Rotherham have to be careful of as well. They've come out a bit more buoyant in the second half. They've been putting a few more challenges in, and that's nothing bad in itself, but they've just got to keep an eye on it. As I say that, there's potentially the penalty appeal here for Boro, as Bangura hits the deck. Well, it was a quick 1-2. He broke into the box, and the referee looked at it and said, nope, it wasn't interested in that being a penalty. But certainly there was an argument to say there could have been. Now 5 Middlesbrough players are remonstrating with the referee. They've got to be careful in terms of saying too much, of course. They'll be in a position where they're going to start to... well, I'll tell you what, that to me does look like a penalty. It's the returning challenge there of Odefan, and he comes into the side of Alex Bangura there, and there's no way that's a shoulder to shoulder. I know the referees like to use that as an example of 2 players going for the ball. It's a physical game, it's a contact sport, don't worry about it kind of thing, but that to me is one player getting away from the other and then the other one pushing him in the back. That's not a shoulder to shoulder. And as I say, I'd like to see another replay before I make my mind up to say whether it was definitely a penalty, because potentially the first contact could have been outside the box as well. But certainly Boro should have had a whistle there, whether it was for a free kick or a spot kick. To me it looked as though there could have been a foul there on their left back Alex Bangura. So you can see Michael Carrick, you'll know that if this game peters out with a 0-0 draw, and that will be points lost for Boro, particularly seeing as some of Middlesbrough's rivals in terms of chasing promotion have come here to the New York Stadium and won. Although saying that, Leeds were held to a 1-1 draw at the New York Stadium, as indeed were Ipswich Town to a 2-2 draw. So sides from the top of the table have come here to Rotherham and not found it easy. But as I say, Middlesbrough, with all the possession that they've had and virtually no work for their own defence, they'll feel very frustrated if they can't find a way to actually get this telling first goal. Or for the time being, though, it's Rotherham trying to get away from their own penalty area. So run down the left-hand side there from Nombi. He's having to drop into, well, mine being in the midfield, is almost in defence there, the forward Sam Nombi. But now Rotherham are going to make a double change. sure that this is going to be the right time. And so there's going to be two changes here. The first of these is going to be Dexter Lembikissa. He's had a decent game on that right-hand side, but it's Arvin Appiah who's going to replace him now. So Appiah will join on the right-hand side. There was also a second change being readied here for Rotherham. Second change being Tom Eaves, and he comes on to replace Sam Nombi. He really has put in a shift today, but none of it has been in attack, and that's no criticism, of course, of Sam Nombi. It's just there's been no service for him to actually be able to get stuck into anything. But Tom Eaves, who had those Hull City man now in this second season at Rotherham. Now for Boro to try and push forward again. So we can see they're not being pressed too high in their own half. It's only really when they really get into the Rotherham half that there's any kind of real pressure here on Boro. But as I say, just looking across at the other championship games, we are still in that pairing with Hull and Sunderland. They're the only other game to still be goalless in the Championship. Meanwhile, a complete reversal in the Premier League to tell you about. Luton were 1-0 up at half-time away to Sheffield United, but now a goal from Ollie McBurney and a goal from James McAtee has made it 2-1 to Sheffield United. So the battle of the two promoted sides, it is Sheffield United that are now leading. Bournemouth are 2-0 up against Fulham. Kluivert with the goal in the first half, and Dominic Solanke making it 2-0 from the penalty spot in the last 5 minutes. He really is in some red-hot scoring form there, Solanke. So we get a break and play here in this game. I may just run you through the scores in the Championship just to remind you what's happening. But for the time being, Boro were on the attack. Jones has robbed the ball at the edge of the area. It's now cleared up towards the halfway line. It's a bouncing ball which should drop here towards Odafan. Plays it down the right-hand side. Here now, trying to take on his man. He's the new player, Arvin Appiah, but he runs straight into trouble. And Middlesbrough now have the ball back, and there's some space here down the left here for Greenwood as well. He's over the halfway line. There's two players joining him on this attack, and he gets into the penalty area now, Greenwood, but he's starting to run into a bit of a cul-de-sac there. Forced to play this one back now towards Morgan Roberts at the edge of the penalty area. No options here, so back to Greenwood. Takes on his man. Okay, plays a quick one-touch there with Rogers. Greenwood into the 6-yard box. Perfect chance. Strike on goal is charged out at the edge of the area. And it was Greenwood with the strike. His effort was pretty much straight down the middle, though. And played back over towards the right-hand side. Howson now in towards Jones. Back to Howson. Once again, ball out of play now. Across, no movements on the Boro bench for the time being. They've got Vandenberg, Kavanagh, Engel, Coburn, Bridge, McGree, Gilbert, Jones and Crooks on their bench this afternoon. As for Rotherham, having already brought on Eaves and Appiah, they've still got Klukas, Kelly, Cafu, McGuckin and goalkeeper Phillips on their bench should they need them. And the scores in the Championship, in the early games, Preston 2, Leeds 1 and Millwall 2, QPR 0. The game's currently being played. It's 2-2 between Cardiff and Plymouth. Coventry leads Sheffield Wednesday by 1-0. Huddersfield lead Blackburn Rovers by 2-0. Goalless between Hull and Sunderland, and indeed in this game Rotherham and Middlesbrough. Southampton leads Swansea by 2-0. Watford trail at home to Bristol City by 3-1. And West Brom lead against 10-man Norwich by 1-0. In the 5:15 game, it's Birmingham against Stoke. And 7:45, it's Ipswich against Leicester. In the Premier League, in the early game, it finished Newcastle 1, Nottingham Forest 3. It's currently Bournemouth 2, Fulham 0, and Sheffield United 2, Luton 1. And 5:30 game is Burnley against Liverpool, with the 8 o'clock kickoff being Manchester United against Aston Villa. That's all your Premier League and Championship scores up to date. Now we're going to get our first change for Middlesbrough this afternoon. It's going to be Sam Greenwood that gets the hook, and it's Riley McGree that comes on to replace him. So McGree is on the field now, and Greenwood Just walking past that Middlesbrough away end on his way round the side of the pitch to get back towards the bench, getting a decent round of applause as well from those Boro fans, and rightfully so. He's had a good game, I thought, Sam Greenwood. Probably should have scored with the chance that he had just a minute or so before he actually went off, but there was a line of Rotherham players trying to block him, and they proved to be very effective, as indeed Rotherham have proved to be effective in general this afternoon. It has to be said that for all the criticism of Boro perhaps lacking a little bit of invention, a little bit of creativity, it's Rotherham that are holding firm, making it difficult. Meanwhile, it's all wrapped up now between Southampton and Swansea, because the Saints have a third goal there. Aribo Edozie, and now just waiting for confirmation of the third goal scorer in that game. But in this game, we've had 10 shots from Middlesbrough, just the one shot from Rotherham, and Boro lead 4-0 in terms of shots on target. But of course, the scoreline is still goalless as a cross comes in from the left, and that is catching practice for Victor Johansson. I think that it's quite a strange sort of scenario here, really, where the goalkeeper is, if Rotherham were to hold on to this result, he, of course, has a clean sheet against a Middlesbrough side that really were all over Rotherham this afternoon. But then you can't say that Johansson's had save after save after save to make. So, Boro with 3 defeats and 2 wins in the league coming into this game. But just as I say that, a cross comes in from the left. What has happened there? And it's in the back of the net. An absolute freak goal there from Cohen Bramall. He whipped the ball in from the left-hand side, got a bit of extra pace on it. It surprised Tom Glover in the Boro goal, and Rotherham United take the lead with 18 minutes to go. You can't even say that was a shot on target. It was a cross. I mean, Bramall should be leaping up in the air because his side have just taken the lead in a big game at home. And he's pretty much almost sort of hiding in embarrassment because he knows he never meant to score then. He was trying to cross it for a teammate, but that can sometimes be the way. He's just put a little bit of extra whip on this. It's lifted a bit too much. The keeper wasn't expecting that to go towards his goal. And all of a sudden, Glover is in no man's land. And Bramall has scored an absolute freak goal here to put Rotherham 1-0 up on 72 minutes. And, well, goodness me, it's an absolute freak goal. But there's a bit of bounce to the ball. That's what I think what does it. So rather than actually whipping it in and trying to get curl on it, he sort of elevated the ball. It's developed a little bit of extra movement in the air. And it suddenly ended up coming out like a very flat cross that's sort of heading just under the bar, with the keeper already waiting at the edge of his 6-yard box for something a little bit more central. And then suddenly the ball's in the back of the net. So from absolutely nowhere, Rotherham United haven't really had a shot on goal in the second half. And yet despite that, they've just taken the lead. It's a crazy one. And Middlesbrough now have got to try and do something here because, as I say, Boro wouldn't have been happy with the draw in this game, and now they're going to actually have to try and work very hard just to get a draw. So we'll see what Michael Carrick's side are made of now. And of course, if Rotherham have been good at soaking up pressure, they're going to have to be even better now, because potentially there could be even more to come. But now Jordan Hugill and Tom Eaves link up, and Hugill heading towards the edge of the penalty area is being blocked by 2 players. Goes back to the goal scorer Bramall. He then plays this ball in towards Lindsay. Now with Revan. Revan trying to thread a ball into the box, but none of his teammates read that intention. And so the pass from Revan goes straight through towards goalkeeper Tom Glover. Ball now on the halfway line here, being brought down. There was, well, he thought he was being brought down there, Morgan Rogers. I think the referee may have thought there was a foul, but he's going to allow play to go on here because Middlesbrough still had the ball in play. They don't anymore though, and it's back now with Rotherham in possession. That's a poor clearance though from Odafan. Needs to hold on to the ball there. He's just inviting Middlesbrough to have possession back. So we'll see. Just the one game that's goalless, and that's still between Hull and Sunderland. Looking at the stats from that game, there have been 4 shots on goal from Hull and just 2 from Sunderland, but that is the only game that is still 0-0 in the Championship. It's a real surprise. Meanwhile, the plot thickens at Bramall Lane, just a few miles away, of course, from the New York Stadium, where it's now 2-2 between Sheffield United and Luton. Hamidovic made it 2-1 to Sheffield United. Now an equaliser in the last minute or so. Still not had the confirmation of the goal scorer there, but Luton are not taking no for an answer. here at the New York Stadium. Boro in possession as they have been in and around the Rotherham penalty area for most of this game. It's with Isiah Jones now, trying to get that ball into the penalty area. His pass is blocked, and now it's cleared up towards the halfway line, where it's taken by Glover. He really is right by the halfway line here, quarterbacking some long balls here. The goalkeeper play up towards the edge of the area. It's blocked by Revan, but then a second effort here. It's kept in play here by Deek, still getting into the box before he's blocked by Rathbone, who then clears it long up towards the halfway line. But Middlesbrough comes straight back again down the right-hand side. Deek, Steele and Jones. Jones under pressure. Back in towards the edge of the area. Now it's over on the left-hand side with Howson. Towards Barlaser. To Howson again. It's a couple of options here. Joining the attack on the left-hand side is now McGree. To get a ball into the box, but there's no options here. Rotherham are doing well just to frustrate Middlesbrough. There's a chance potentially at the edge of the area. There's a Boro player gone down. There's a strike coming in as well. There's a tight angle, and the ball eventually deflects out for a corner kick. It was Odefan with the telling challenge there. As we can see, he was trying to turn and get a shot away towards goal there. Bangura, but he was blocked, and now a corner kick to be taken from the left-hand side. But I think Boro made it. Yes, they have. Anafree Deeksteel is off. Josh Coburn is on to replace him. So Coburn on the field now. Charles, I think there's been a double change there as well. I'll just confirm. Yes, Alex Bangura is off as well, and Lucas Engel is on to replace him. So Engel's on the field as well. No surprise really that we're starting to see more change. That's only the third corner kick of the game, by the way, for Boro. It was floated into the box. It's headed away. Second ball now coming in from the right-hand side, and there is a header heading towards goal, but it's angled away. Johansson with his arm up, telling his defenders not to worry about that one, which they don't. They leave it, and it's out for a goal kick now. 77 minutes gone. It is Rotherham United 1, Middlesbrough 0. And what have Boro got about them now to try and really get back into this game? See, that's he's not happy there. Michael Carrick side, their form has been up and down. Those 3 wins, including the win in the League Cup, was before 2 defeats out of 5 in the Championship going through November and into the early part of December. But they've had good runs in the league as well, Boro. Not forgetting that after a bit of a nightmare start to the season, they went on a run of 7 straight wins for that to defeat at home to Stoke City. But that was in late October, I should say. But their form has been up and down. And I think that's certainly for the ambition, certainly in terms of where the fans and the board think the Boro should be. And indeed, some of the players in that squad, really, they have got some very good players as well, Boro. But they've had to, of course, just taper things away in terms of how things are. But just as I say that, Boro on the attack, and a strike coming in from the edge of the area, and that is off the post, and it's so close to a rebound being put in the back of the net. Johansson was beaten, all ends up there. The strike came in, it hit the post, and the goalkeeper very fortunate that the player coming in for the rebound, I think it was McGree, couldn't quite get on the end of it. But Boro come again now with Howson at the edge of the box. He goes for goal. His left-footed effort deflects away, and the keeper tries to chase that. He's not able to get that in. He's not able to avoid that going out for a corner. He actually grabs the ball there, Johansson. The referee's now accusing him of deliberately wasting time. But I'll tell you what, do I need to give more credit to Johansson there? Because the strike came in from McGree from outside the box. And I take it all back. It's a fantastic save from Johansson to palm that ball onto the post. So ignore that nonsense that I just said about the keeper being all ends up. He actually made the save there, but the pictures we're getting wasn't quite clear that he got that feather touch from the live pictures. Needed to see a replay of that one. The corner kick's been taken. It's been whipped in and then cleared all the way towards the right-hand side. Switch back over towards the left-hand side now. Options at the edge of the area, but the visitors Still not able to get a shot away on goal. It's now with captain Johnny Howson down towards the right-hand side here for Isiah Jones. Jones's ball into the box. It's Revan in the right place at the right time, not for the first time today. And he heads that one out for a corner kick. Meanwhile, it sounds like it's a miserable Boxing Day for the home faithful at Vicarage Road, because we're getting word of a fourth goal for Bristol City. And Watford 1, Bristol City 4 is a potential scoreline. So, only about 10 minutes to go in this game as an out-swinging corner comes in from the right-hand side. It was a ball in from Barlaser, which was initially just stopped at the edge of the 6-yard box before it was finally cleared towards the halfway line. Meanwhile, the plot thickens even more at Bramall Lane. And the plot thickens because it's 2 own goals now. Sheffield United were 2-1 up at one point in the second half to Luton Town. Now Sheffield United are 3-2 down at home, and an own goal from Jack Robinson, and then another own goal from Anis Ben Slimani. So Sheffield United have put through their own net twice to be 3-2 down at home to Luton. Meanwhile, a strike coming in from the edge of the area for Morgan Roberts, but that is tame. There have been far too many tame efforts from Boro this afternoon. I suppose if all of these efforts had been skied over the bar, then I would be saying, well, Boro need to, to take a bit off, and their efforts need to be a bit more measured. But you've got to get that balance between getting something on target that can actually cause the goalkeeper problems, or smashing something that's so far high and wide that it's not going to cause any problems at all. But certainly both Roberts and Jones have been guilty this afternoon of having 2 or 3 efforts that were very soft, very easy for the keeper to just stand, pretty much make a standing save where he is. It was Silvera that was very close to scoring when it was still 0-0. So was Greenwood was close to getting an equaliser just before he went off, before he was substituted. And then there was that strike from the substitute, Riley McGree, which was brilliantly saved by Hansen and then pushed onto the post. It's Middlesbrough now back on the attack down the right-hand side with Isiah Jones. Drops her shoulder, then puts a cross in, which is partially charged down. And a chance now here for Tahi to get the ball away. He was being fouled there, claims the Rotherham players. The referee and the linesman, however, disagree. And because Tahi had the final touch, it goes off him and it's out for a throw. And so the visitors now have another chance, as we're just waiting to see if there's another substitution being prepared here by Rotherham. I think there might be. It looks like it's Sam Clucas. Stoke City, the former Stoke City man, originally from Lincoln, on his way on the field now, and Jordan Hugill applauding the fans here. But it's actually Jamie Lindsay that's going to be going off. He's putting a shifter this afternoon in midfield. I think that's probably why they're giving him a bit of a break here towards the end of the game. But if Rotherham can hold on to this win, it really could kickstart their fight for survival. Consider that they have Sunderland at home next. That's going to be on Friday night. A good atmosphere for that. Then they're away to Blackburn, who are a bit stop-start this season. Blackburn themselves are losing to relegation threat and Huddersfield by 3-0 this afternoon. So there's potential points there for Rotherham. Then they have the free hit of the FA Cup match away to Fulham before a big game on the 13th of January, when they play at home to Stoke City. So all of a sudden, the next 3 weeks looking exciting for Rotherham. Of course, let's not speak too soon about this game. But if they were able to hold on to 3 points here, get something from the Sunderland game and from the Blackburn game, all of a sudden the new year looking a bit more promising for Liam Richardson's side. Meanwhile, as far as Middlesbrough are concerned, they've got Huddersfield away on the 29th. Then they're at home to Coventry City on New Year's Day before they play at home to a high-flying Aston Villa in the FA Cup. Then they're at home to not-so-high-flying Chelsea in the League Cup in a 2-legged game. Second leg being on the 23rd of January. And they also have a trip away to Millwall and then a home game against Rotherham. It's always interesting, isn't it? The schedule sometimes gets these two sides playing against each other right towards the end of the first round of fixtures, where you've got to play everyone at least once, and then all of a sudden you play the same side again a couple of weeks later. But here come Middlesbrough down the left-hand side, a ball played into the box, and a chance here now was he went for goal there, but just as he was trying to push forward there, Coburn, he was charged down. And the ball eventually going out for a corner kick. But yeah, Middlesbrough getting more and more players forward now as we get to crunch time in this game. Just 5 minutes plus injury time. So we've not actually had that many stoppages in this second half. So can't see that there's going to be that much time added. And by the way, we have no goalless games in the Championship. I'll tell you about that in just a second. But here comes a corner kick for Middlesbrough. It's taken short, and then he goes for goal. What a terrible effort that is from outside the box. That is not going to threaten anybody on any day from Morgan Roberts there. I've criticised him a couple of times for sending very tame efforts at the keeper. So this time, this isn't sent at the keeper. It's sent about 10 yards over the keeper. It's a really, really skied effort there from Morgan Roberts. Just to tell you that it is now Hull 0, Sunderland 1. And it is Jack Clark with the goal for Sunderland. Looking to consolidate their position in that top 6. They will go ahead of Hull City if they can hold on to that result. It's Middlesbrough now to do some work in defence for once, which is a very rare thing in this second half. It's really good there to try and get that ball into the box, but that's also good work just to stop the run there of Rotherham United. Looks like he was probably one more dribble away from going for goal, but just gets stopped in his tracks. He's now cleared up towards the halfway line. There's a Rotherham player down in midfield here, and the referee, Andrew Kitchen, looks towards the bench, asks the physio to come on just to check the Rotherham man, make sure that everything's okay with him. As I say, we are a few minutes behind some of the other games, but there was more injury time certainly at Huddersfield's game. It's 84 minutes in that game. We're at 87 here. Meanwhile, at St Mary's, they're already in the 91st minute as the game there is looking to lay out as Sam Clucas, who came on for Jamie Lindsay just a few moments ago. He's in real pain there in the middle of the park. Let's hope there's nothing too serious. So this may take a minute or two before he's back up on his feet. So a couple of the Rotherham players just using this as an opportunity to get some fluids in as well. So Sam Clucas, it doesn't seem like a particularly serious fall, but it must be just the way he landed awkwardly. Just needs a little bit of time just to pick himself up. For the time being, Lucas is back up on his feet, and let's hope that he's going to be able to play on, because he's only been on the field a few minutes himself, having come on to replace Jamie Lindsay. Getting ready for another Middlesbrough change here as well. As Clucas is now ready to come on. And so we can see that Boro are preparing to bring on Callum Kavanagh as well. Republic of Ireland international. But now the ball is over on the right-hand side, across coming in. And it was Morgan Roberts who had the ball at his feet, trying to get that ball into the box, charged down by Arvin Appiah. Quick corner kick taken here. As Boro not looking to waste any time. It's now with Barlaser, who's crossed his charge down. It's away for another corner. And usually Barlaser didn't take this corner kick himself this time, but he is now. It's going to be an outswinger from Dan Barlaser from the right-hand side. Plenty to aim for inside the penalty area. The header goes up in the air. It's a bouncing ball played back towards the left-hand edge of the field. In the end, Rotherham coped with that corner kick pretty well. But there's a second wave coming in now, a deep cross coming in from the left-hand side, but that's catching practice for Johansson. Comfortable and confident save there from the keeper, plucking that one out of the sky. Just waiting now for his teammates to get a bit further forward. See now once again Liam Richardson and his assistant just having a bit of a discussion as to what needs to happen next. It's turning into a miserable afternoon for Swansea City on the south coast, though. They're now 5-0 down away to Southampton. Rebo, Dozy, Fraser again, and Shea Adams with the goals for Southampton this afternoon. Now back with Middlesbrough keeper Glover, just plays it quickly here towards Dale Fry. Fry very nearly caught in possession, but just about clears the ball up towards the halfway line where Rotherham win it back. And ideally for Rotherham, they want to keep this ball as high up the field as they can for as long as they can. And just as I said that, though, Christ Tay plays a long ball in towards the edge of the area. It's partially dealt with. It couldn't quite stick with Tom Eaves. And now Middlesbrough have the ball back. We're into 6 minutes of added time. I must admit, that's an exaggeration. I don't see whether we've had 6 minutes lost in this second half. Albeit, you could argue that we lose 15 minutes in every half, really, the amount of time it takes for a free kick, goal kick or corner kick to be taken, plus substitutions and the like. But considering the normal sort of yardsticks, I think we've probably got a couple of minutes longer than we need to. But in any case, Middlesbrough certainly won't complain. They've got two substitutes ready to come on now, given half the chance. The first of these is going to be Johnny Howson to go off. So Howson is off. He is going to be replaced for these last few minutes by Matt Crooks. So Crooks is on for Howson. Be another change as well. I think this is Morgan Rogers going off. In fact, it's it's going to be Sam Silvera to go off, and Callum Kavanagh, who I mentioned was already to come on. Callum Kavanagh is on the field now. And it's this Middlesbrough corner kick now from the right-hand side. It's heading towards the edge of the 6-yard box, and it's a looping header that goes just wide. And he was scrambling across there, the goalkeeper Johansson. But he was relieved to see that one go just wide of his far post and away for a goal kick. Good jump there for the header. Looks like it was, just going to see from the replay who it was. It was Crooks, straight off the bench. I mean, that would have been quite an impact. His first touch of the ball as coming on as a substitute is to head the ball to make it 1-1. Not to be, though. Meanwhile, Rotherham are getting ready to make their fourth change, and it's going to be the Portuguese Cafu coming on for Jordan Hugill. This is a forward being replaced by a midfielder. Cafu, the former Nottingham Forest man. Actually, the first time I saw Cafu play was way back in 2017 when he was a Legia Warsaw player playing in the Polish league for a short stint at Olympiacos, then a few years at Nottingham Forest. Now move to Rotherham on a free. His job will be just to try and shore things up in that midfield, making sure that there are no late surprises here from Boro. If you'd have said to Rotherham before the game that you can draw this game 0-0 or 1-1, they would have taken that. But now they're 3.5 minutes of injury time away from actually winning this game against Boro. It'll be one of the last ones to finish, as well as some of the championship games are now starting to wrap up. It's a ball whipped in here from Barley, so once again it's a low cross. It's headed up in the air. It's still not being dealt with before it's finally cleared. Now there was a clearance up to the half-way line. As that clearance was being made, a couple of Boro players had their arms up appealing for a penalty. I don't know if that was as a knee-jerk reaction, if they genuinely thought there was a handball, but it's another long looping cross in from Isiah Jones back into the penalty area. Cleared. It's picked up now on the left here by Barlaser. Heading towards the box, plays a quick 1-2, although that ball from Crooks is just a little bit overhit perhaps. Barlaser trying to keep it in play, and it goes out. Has that been given as a corner kick? I don't think it has. It looks like Barlaser got the last touch according to the referee. And now Barlaser doing his best impression of a ball boy, just to fetch that ball for Victor Johansson to make sure that Rotherham goalkeeper has no excuse to waste any additional seconds. As we can see, Ian Richardson making some little tactical alterations, showing his players with his fingers up just how many players he wants in which position. So he can also tell his players that there are 2 minutes of added time still to play. So the ball now back with goalkeeper Tom Glover. Dale Fry now to Barlaser. Middlesbrough have got everybody forward here now, apart from 2-3 players back on the half line, and their goalkeeper just waiting on the edge of his own box. But everybody else is camped at the edge of the Rotherham penalty area. It's a ball coming in from the left-hand side, a hooked clear by Sam Klukas back towards the halfway line. They're coming back here again, though. Our Middlesbrough, it's with Fry. On the right-hand side now for Jones. Jones trying to play a quick 1-2. They're appealing that there was a foul there on Morgan Roberts, I should say, as he was playing that pass forward. The referee agrees. So potentially one of the last chances of this game now. It's a free kick to Middlesbrough, about 30-35 yards out. It's a wide angle on the right-hand side, but it's one here that Daniel Barlaser is going to try and whip in and pick out a teammate here. It's now or never for Boro. We've got 45 seconds of the allotted 6 minutes of added time still to play. And Barlaser, with his arm up now, puts the ball in. It's got the right height, but it's headed up in the air and it's looping over the bar. Looks like it may have been Morgan Roberts that got the final touch. To the ball now, bouncing back onto the field, and Johansson just showing that there was some things being thrown at the goalkeeper there. He's now getting more abuse from the Boro fans for reporting the fact that something was thrown onto the pitch. But of course, he has to show the referee or the linesman that something has been thrown on the pitch. The referee can always add a few seconds on to the end of this game. I've got to say, we've had over 10 minutes of added time in this game in total, counting the first and the second half. I'm sure we've had that much time lost, really. But the ball is now back in play. We're over the 6 minutes that we should have had, so it's all eyes on the referee. Certainly as far as the Rotherham fans, players and coaches are concerned, they want this game to finish as now, effectively. But Boro wants to have maybe one more chance to try and go forward as the ball is cleared away and back into midfield. It's with Dale Fry now over towards the right-hand side. Isiah Jones heading towards the penalty area, but he's got to be quick here. Time is running out for Boro. Time has run out. It's when the referee decides to finish play here, as the ball is now on the left. Chance to try and get this cross in. It's with Crooks. His effort is stopped just at the edge of the 6-yard box. It's still bouncing. It's hooked up in the air. And we've had 45 seconds now over the added time. Referee still playing on for the time being. Boro come again now with Barlaser's ball into the box. There may still be a chance. It's fired across and there's nobody there to get a telling touch. It's out for a throw-on, although both sides saying it should be our ball. It has been given as a Middlesbrough throw. The referee looks at his watch and calls time on the game at the New York Stadium, where Rotherham United have beaten Middlesbrough here by a goal to nil. It was a freak goal from Cohen Bramall, whipping a ball in from the left-hand side to cross it into the back of the net. But inexplicably, the ball picked up a bit of extra pace and ends up in the back of the net, going over the keeper and over the line. Whereas Boro, with all their efforts, just haven't been able to get a goal this afternoon. And it's finished here at the New York Stadium. Rotherham United 1, Middlesbrough 0.